Revolutionary Democratic Front appeals to the comrades, friends of the Indian Revolution, workers and peasants and toiling masses and the democratic forces of this country to celebrate 4 historical significant world proletarian anniversaries within a short span of time. The Great Proletariat Cultural Revolution, GPCR, which has completed its 50th anniversary on 16th of May, was an unprecedented revolutionary mass upsurge in socialist China led by Mao and the Communist Party. It aimed at bringing each and every sphere of the cultural superstructure in conformity with the country's socialist economic base by arousing the vast working masses against bourgeoisie and other forms of reactionary culture. It involved a bitter class struggle against the entrenched capitalist rulers. It was a continuation of the anti-revisionist struggle of the Great Debate and marked a new stage in the development of the Chinese Revolution. It reinforced Mao's teaching that many cultural revolutions will be necessary on the path to communism by building and consolidating socialism. Internationally, it provided the conditions and context for a decisive break with revisionism in the communist movement of many countries, formation of ML parties, and a new wave of armed agrarian revolutionary wars. In India, the great Naxalbari peasant revolutionary arms uprising, which is going to complete its 50th anniversary, was influenced and inspired by the GPCR. Naxalbari was a path-breaking event under the leadership of Comrade Char Majumdar, one of the 2 great leaders, teachers and 4 founders of CPI Maoist comrades CM and KC, which marks a new beginning in the history of the country's democratic revolution. The centenary of the victory of the great Russian socialist revolution is also approaching. Popularly we call it Bolshevik Revolution. It smashed the political power of the Russian capitalists and the feudal classes through armed insurrection and for the first time established a new state of the working class and the toiling masses under the leadership of Comrade Lenin and Stalin. It undertook the task of building socialism and laid the foundations of socialist system, thus paving way for the transition to communism. Bolshevik Revolution was guided by the correct proletariat ideology of Marxism and a correct proletarian revolutionary party. It adopted correct strategy and tactics and carried out relentless struggle against right and left opportunism within the party and the country. In the course of socialist construction and struggle against domestic and international opportunism, Marxism developed into a new and higher stage, Leninism or Marxism-Leninism. The bicentenary of the birth of Karl Marx, the founder of the proletariat ideology, politics and scientific socialism, and a great revolutionary philosopher who formulated an entirely new and thoroughly scientific theory and method, is also coming near. Marx showed a new path for humanity that flourished in the process of bitter class struggle and in struggle against bourgeoisie and petty bourgeoisie ideology, economics, politics and culture, as well as in struggle against right and left opportunism within the working class movement. It marked the dawn of a new epoch for humanity that was chained to class exploitation and oppression for thousands of years. This made the transition to a classless society and hence to the realm of freedom a real possibility. These anniversaries are important and occasions to reaffirm the irrefutable truth that the only alternative to wage slavery, exploitation, oppression, domination, destitution, discrimination, disparity, devastation, crisis and wars engendered by capitalism in the present world of socialism and communism. These are occasions to declare once again that in the fight against capital, its grave diggers will bury the old decadent social relations and build new social ones in their place in the course of building socialism to progress to a classless society, thus bringing the philosophy of humanity, prehistory of humanity to an end so that the real history of humanity can begin. Those who claim the permanence of capitalism and the outdatedness of communism wantonly forget that humanity has spent most of its past in a classless society, has emerged from a classless society, and is destined to once again enter a classless society, bypassing through successive higher stages under the leadership of the proletariat, the newest, the last, and the most revolutionary class in history. Those who point to the reversal of the Soviet and Chinese socialist societies willfully forget that the bourgeoisie too had to face innumerable defeats over several centuries before it could emerge victorious in its struggle for power against the feudal class. Ever since the Paris Commune, every defeat has brought new lessons to the proletariat. Learning from mistakes and drawing lessons from defeats, the proletariat and its party will relentlessly, doggedly, and steadfastly pursue its struggle against the bourgeoisie as the vanguard of all oppressed social classes and social sections to build socialism in one country and then in several countries to finally establish socialism on a world scale by defeating capitalism, imperialism, and all reaction. Then, after all necessary conditions have nurtured, the society will finally be able to inscribe on its banner from each according to his, her ability, to each according to his, her want. So let us once again assert in the course of celebrating these anniversaries that there is no alternative to Marxism, there is no alternative to proletarian party leadership, there is no alternative to revolution, and there is no alternative to socialism and communism.